Digimon Expo was this week, and while ostensibly a Japanese event, they did live stream it and have some content that was in English subtitles. It was, however, 4 AM for me, and I knew the majority of it wasn't going to be news focused, so instead this is that video celebrating Digimon Expo and the news we did get from there. Plus, Digimon Story Time Stranger and Digimon Beatbreak come out next week. Like this time next week, I'll be about to play Digimon Story Time Stranger live on this channel, full LP, not in one stream, in multiple streams across October. And then, yeah, Digimon Beatbreak episode 1 comes out on October 5th as well. It's a big time to be a Digimon fan. Pinch me, I'm dreaming. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video. And yes, it's Digimon Expo week and the week running up to Time Stranger and Beatbreak. There was a bunch of, I would say, smaller news at Digimon Expo. For example, they're re-releasing the Imperialdramon model kit in a different kind of shiny plastic. Plus, they continue talking and teasing the Kaiser Emperor Greymon model kit, which means we're probably going to be getting a Susanoo-mon and Magna Garurumon model kit too. However, I think the biggest toy takeaway from Digimon Expo was the brand new Digimon Cross Wars 15th anniversary Digimon colors. Part of me is actually a little bit disappointed that this isn't a complete selection animation or color evolution or something of the Cross Loader, which maybe will still come. Maybe that'll be for the 20th anniversary of Cross Wars. But you know, a celebration of the 15th anniversary of Cross Wars is still great. If you're wondering where to pick these up, they will be on Premium Bandai, though they might have sold out by now. However, if you're in a country that doesn't have Premium Bandai like I am, or you missed the Premium Bandai pre-orders, you can always go and pre-order it with today's sponsor, ZeninTCG. ZeninTCG is your one-stop shop for Digimon and anime goods. Of course, they're going to have those new Digimon Cross Wars color Vpets. They've also got a lot of the Godzilla Digimon collab stuff up there and a bunch of other stuff for pre-order and order right now. Zenin has been hugely supportive of the Digimon community, including me, so it's great to have some place that we can trust to get Digimon orders from. I'll break down everything you need to know about these color Vpets in a minute, but if you're looking to get them yourself, you can get both versions, the Cross Heart color and the Blue Flare versions with UV printed color shells through Zenin. And when you do that, Zenin is offering 10% off when you buy both at the same time. Each of these Vpets contains the exact same roster, they are just different colored shells, but I mean, they're super good, and if you're a Cross Heart fan and a Blue Flare fan, you're definitely going to want to pick up both. And just as a reminder, this is a pre-order, so these devices will be releasing between February and March of 2026. So huge thanks to ZeninTCG for sponsoring this video. Do make sure you go grab those Cross Wars color Vpets, but let me tell you more about them so you know exactly why you should be so hyped. So yeah, of course, they are Cross Heart and Blue Flare themed, with a bunch of evolution routes for Cross Wars Digimon. There's also going to be a lot of little differences to make it more Cross Wars-like for this version of the Digimon color, so it's not just like they've completely just reskinned and slapped on some new sprites from previous versions, including a unique battle system where you can recruit Digimon like Darulumon, Ballistamon, etc. from the anime to your side, really emphasizing that kind of Cross Wars element. And 13 Digimon can join your party that way. You'll also be able to Digicross, and this is kind of a huge moment for Digimon Cross Wars fans, as Shoutmon Cross 4 is now joined by Shoutmon Cross 3 GM, Shoutmon Cross 3 SD, and Shoutmon Cross 4S. Those are some names that I'm just never gonna memorize. But what is really cool about this is we haven't had official art for a lot of these forms before, so this is the first time we're actually getting proper art, not just from things like video games, etc. And they are gonna get Digimon reference book listings too. The full roster features a lot of Shoutmon evolutions and Digicross, but also Gumdramon and Arrestadramon, with 28 Digimon available between raising and Digicross, 11 of which can be raised, and if you defeat Metal Greymon 2010 in one of those event battles I talked about before, you can get a Blue Flare Army Digi-Egg, which goes from Gaussmon through the Greymon evolutions from Cross Wars 2. I don't know whether they're going to add any other Gumdramon or Arrestadramon evos like Superior Mode, etc. onto this, but it doesn't seem they will be. You can also battle against members of the Bagra army and others in this, which I think is super cool. Madleomon, Lilithmon, Blastmon, Tactimon, Dark Knightmon, and Bagramon himself, plus more. Who could this little silhouette possibly be? I guess we'll have to find out. And as is pretty standard with these color Vpets now, you can connect this to Digimon Color, Pendulum Color, Digivice 25th Color Evolution, and the D3 25th Color Evolution for battles and to unlock backgrounds and more. And And as also standard with these now, they have USB-C charging, a sort of low power mode, and the ability to back up your system from prior Digimon Color Vpets. So as I say, these are on Premium Bandai now, but you can also go check out ZeninTCG, today's sponsor, to grab these. Get 10% off when you buy both from Zenin. Support Zenin, and like I say, if you're in a country like I am that doesn't even have Premium Bandai, that's basically one of your great options. Some other merch news that I think is interesting in the TCG side of things, and I know I don't tend to talk about the TCG a ton, but of course we do have Hacker's Slumber BT23 coming out October 17th, and they have revealed that the box purchase bonus is a Time Stranger themed box topper booster pack, which will have Minervamon, Marukimon, Titamon as Digimon, and Hiroko, Monica, and Asuna as Tamers, all from Digimon Story Time Stranger. Moving forward then, we have the previously revealed Amethyst Mandala Advanced deck coming out on December 5th, of course a Rika, Sakuyamon, Renamon focused deck, and then into January of next year we have the dedicated Digimon Story Time Stranger BT24. This is interesting to me that the booster pack is coming out in January. We know that we have DLC releasing for Digimon Story Time Stranger up until September 30th, 2026, which means roughly a DLC pack every 3 or 4 months, which would line up really nicely actually with the first DLC pack coming out in January 2026. Time Stranger BT24 coming out on January 16th could be roughly when that DLC comes out. For example, if we look at the Hacker's Slumber box topper coming out on October 17th alongside Hacker's Slumber, and Digimon Story Time Stranger releasing on October 2nd or 3rd, this could mean that the DLC for Time Stranger, the first wave, the first pack, is dropping around January 1st, January 2nd of 2026. Just a theory, might not happen, but would make sense. Anyway, of course, we're going to get an Inori Tamer card and a Jupitermon card, amongst others. I'm really excited to see where that set goes, especially once all the Digimon in Time Stranger are public knowledge, not just data mine knowledge. Moving forward, there's also going to be Dawn of Liberator EX11 in February, which we've also known about for a little minute, and of course Shoto's going to feature there. This is probably where we're going to see Zaphagamon's level 7 equivalent, like we've seen for other Digimon like Nyabootmon and Magnetic Dramon. Whether this is roughly when Liberator's going to end, I don't know. I really hope Liberator carries on for another year. Then we have got the March 2026 advanced booster of Digimon Generation. This is going to be a mix of reprints and new cards focusing on 0, 2, and Data Squad. But what's really interesting is that going forward into 2026, it seems the 2 seasons that are getting the most focus are indeed Digimon Beatbreak and Digimon Data Squad, aka Savers, which is kind of funny because Digimon Beatbreak is kind of a spiritual successor to Digimon Data Squad, as the sort of series producer for Beatbreak also worked on Data Squad. Digimon Data Squad, or Savers, also turns 20 years old next year, so maybe we're going to get an actual decent celebration year for Data Squad, maybe even seeing something like a color evolution for the Digivice IC. That would be great. And they've also made mention of a new game mechanic called Jewel Card, and this is very exciting. I mean, this could go many ways. Obviously, something it initially makes me think of is the tag team cards from Pokemon, with Latios and Latias on the same card. I also think it could be similar to that, but be a Digimon and Tamer card, so have Inori and Ageomon on the same card, and they can act as a Tamer and a Digimon, rather than situations like Marcus or Takuya. Another option is that these are cards with Digimon on both sides. So for example, Agunimon on one side and Vritramon or Burning Greymon on the other, that you have to flip in battle, similar to the Magic the Gathering cards that do a similar thing. This isn't impossible given the fact that sleeves have been enforced at tournament level in Digimon card game from day one. So honestly, I'm just excited to see what this dual card thing is, and maybe that's going to get me playing the physical card game more, although if Elysion's out by this time, I'm going to be a hardcore in Elysion. We also got the reveal, hardly surprising, that yes, Plutomon is going to be in this game. There were people that genuinely thought this might not happen. Of course it's going to. He is the leader of the Titans carrying out assaults across the digital world. So yes, Plutomon is acting like a villain in this game once again. I know that the real world mythological version of Pluto or Hades isn't always a bad guy, but in Digimon media, Plutomon tends to be. However, I do get the feeling that maybe Plutomon isn't the overarching bad guy of Time Stranger, and there might be a third act shift. So maybe in this game, Plutomon will actually end up helping the Olympos 12. We've already seen this is possible with the Titan Divermon defecting from the Titans to help us. So it's not like if you're a Titan, you're necessarily evil forever. Plus, if that Divermon does end up becoming Neptunemon, maybe he could convince his old boss Plutomon to join the side of good too. Or maybe not. Following up from that, we've got some interesting DLC / I think free downloadable content news. First of all is the confirmation of the Digimon Anime Song Pack, which will feature a bunch of Japanese anime songs. Sorry, no Digirap for those that really wanted it. I will be honest though, I'd love Let's Kick It Up in this game. The track list is Butterfly and Braveheart from Digimon Adventure, Adventure, Target and Breakup from Digimon Adventure 02, The Biggest Dreamer and Slash from Tamers, Fire and With the Will from Frontier, Going My Soul and Believer from Savers or Data Squad, Nebagiba and We Are Crossheart from Digimon Fusion or Digimon Cross Wars, Unidentified Airship and Break the Chain from Digimon Adventure 2020, and Faction and First Riders from Ghost Game. I'm pretty certain this is going to be a paid anime listing track, which means people like me who are streaming the game probably aren't going to get to use it in their streams, but I'll probably still pick it up and use it in my own free time. I believe what's going to happen is you're going to be able to buy these and then use them as replacement music in the field or battle, etc. Much like you can already do in the base game, you can select basically any song and set it as your field, battle, etc., which is kind of fun. Plus, there's also going to be the Cyber Sleuth BGM pack from the DLC, which you can also use to replace different music types in the game. Sadly, there's zero Appmon music or anything from Cross Wars Season 2, plus anything from Digimon movies like Try or Kizuna, so maybe we'll get a pack 2 in future, although I think maybe this is just Appmon slander again. What's probably free DLC though are the collaboration t-shirts. So we've known for a while there's going to be a lot of costumes in Digimon Story Time Stranger, both in-game free ones and ones part of the DLC and Season Pass. However, we have got confirmation of crossover t-shirts for Idolmaster, Tekken 8, huge win, Taiko no Tatsujin, and Tales of Eirias. And while I was editing this video, they also confirmed Pac-Man t-shirts. A lot of Bandai Namco brands here, makes a ton of sense, great easy crossover. In particular, I love the Tekken 8 t-shirt crossover because we get a regular Tekken 8 key visual art as a t-shirt, and we get Lily as a t-shirt, and we see here Kanan in the Lily t-shirt riding Monzaemon. Great reference to the fact that Lily from Tekken is a Digimon tamer showing up in Digimon Redigitize with a Monzaemon partner, or well, also a Numemon partner. I'm pretty certain these are going to be free as collaboration packs. It would be crazy if they cost money. If they do, it better be less than $1 per pack, but hopefully because these are collaboration t-shirts, you're just gonna have to download them from the store. Then we also got the posting of the Digimon Story Time Stranger theme song music video. Initially just in Japanese, but they now have shared the English language version, which confirms something I was a little bit dubious about. Obviously, the game language in this version of the trailer is in English, but actually so is the song. So probably when you play the game, if you choose the English language dub, you will get the English language version of Wherever You Are by Resh. However, if you choose the Japanese version, you'll probably get the Japanese version of the song when it plays at the key moment, probably at the end of the game, to make us cry. The trailer features a lot of stuff we've already seen, like Ageomon and Inori on the rooftop, and shots of the human and digital world. The song is absolutely beautiful. I am a sucker for a good piano ballad. Digimon Survive nailed this, and of course my favorite, Tuzanican from Final Fantasy X did too. Also, tons of Yoko Shimomura tracks from Kingdom Hearts. I will link the trailer down below because it doesn't really need a full dissection. There are some interesting bits though that I think we should remark on, including what seems to be a shot of Where Garurumon talking to Venusmon, and funnily enough, there is actually a Where Garurumon in Marukimon's chambers in Central Town, so I wonder if this is the same one sent by Marukimon, perhaps with us, to contact Venusmon. Looks like there's going to be an NPC Hawkmon similar to the NPC Biomon we see in the government building. I think that's super cool. And we see a quick shot of the Virus Greymon fight, which has been shown off more at Digimon Expo. I'm not personally going to cover it because I feel like we're getting really far into the weeds now as far as spoiler content goes, but yeah, that is a fight that you can do in the human world, not the digital world. Quick shot of Cherubimon Vice there, which I think is really interesting. Would love to see Cherubimon's role here because we've already seen Cherubimon in the kind of golden, presumably Junomon area. And speaking of Junomon, her chambers get invaded by Titan Digimon, including Titamon himself, who lashes out and seems to knock her to the floor. It's fairly obvious that Junomon Hysteric Mode is going to end up in this game, although Hysteric Mode is often seen as kind of a jealous Digimon in some way, so could this be the moment that Hysteric Mode comes out when she is being basically defeated by the Titans, or will there be some jealousy of Ageomon and Inori in the main game? I don't know. We see these cool Greek and Roman style pottery animations with Ageomon again, but also Plutomon sat on his throne, really reminding me of that classic Jin Kazama style pose that we also see Enmamon in Shambhala. We also get a good look at the end here of what presumably is when we first time travel, I think, with Ageomon and Inori. In this void that Ageomon has been seen saving Inori from before, you can see all these little fractures in the background, which honestly look like, well, let's just say the flag from Community. So I wonder if these are all different points in time and we're going to end up back in this void a bunch of times, having to pick a different crack in time to go through. potentially. This is weirdly one of the last times I'm going to get to talk about Time Stranger before it launches, so I'm kind of reining in heavily spoilerific stuff because there's just not much point at this stage, but that was really cool to see. Then finally, we did get some Digimon Beatbreak news this week too, because of course, again, Digimon Beatbreak starts 2 days after Digimon Story Time Stranger comes out. Through V-Jump scans, we got confirmation that the first episode is called The Beat of Emotions, and then we got the final trailer, which does have a lot of familiar imagery that we've seen from the previous trailers, but some new stuff too. So we see the Sapotama being used once again as a sort of phone meets Amazon Echo meets something else, a all-in-one device, and that indeed Digimon are monsters that are born from Sapotama, which we've had confirmed before, really coming full circle with Digimon's origin as a Tamagotchi spin-off. We now have a Sapo Tamagotchi. We get a much better look at what is now confirmed to be a hyena Digimon, which is going to be probably the first Digimon that Gekomon fights in Digimon Beatbreak episode 1. And they're using thermal camera imagery and things like that, and showing that when Digimon bite, they kind of frost over humans, which I think is how Digimon are going to get their E-Pulse potentially. It also seems that Tomoro and Gekomon are wanted for 500 cents? Euros? I don't know. And we see Tomoro carrying Gekomon down the road, who says he's hungry. I love that dynamic already. A quick shot of what seems to be Tomoro spinning a drumstick around his hand. Yes, if it was any possible ambiguity, it has now been erased. Beatbreak refers to, of course, the heartbeat, but also the beat of music. We see Tomoro wearing headphones. We see him spinning a drumstick. Other allusions to music. This is a music and emotions themed season. Then follows a lot of stuff we saw again in that first trailer, plus some new shots of Reina, Pristimon, Makoto, and Kiropmon. There does seem to be some kind of digital world in this show, and the visuals for me are a little bit underwhelming. I actually prefer a lot of the stuff we've seen in the real world, but hopefully these kind of digital world segments prove more exciting or are not quite what I expect in the full show. But then we do see what seems to be a Digivolution sequence with probable confirmation that the Sapotama is both the Digi-Egg and Digivice of this season, a kind of hybrid. As we see her tap on her Sapotama, create what appears to be E-Pulse, and then, okay, we're gonna have to jump to something else because Murasamemon takes out Waspmon. I thought we had something good going on, Digimon. I thought we were having fun with the B references and Hyokomon. Now you're killing Waspmon? No, but actually I think that's really cool that Waspmon gets to be prominent in a trailer again. It really is the year of Fan Beamon, or Fun Beamon, I guess they're sticking with now. Then we see the Sapotama light up in front of Tomoro, and this is probably when Gekomon's gonna Digivolve in episode 1 or 2, with Gekomon saying that he can believe in him. Then the drop happens for Mad Pulse, the opening theme by Mad Kid. Again, I can't play that here, but go check out the trailer in the description down below yourself. Super, super cool. Sounds great. I am going to be rocking out hardcore to this OP. But interestingly, we don't really see Gekomon Digivolve here. Instead, we see Gekomon fighting that hyena Digimon. And it seems like using Digimon to fight is not a thing people are familiar with in this world, because it's remarked upon that he's using the Digimon to fight, with Gekomon then asking to use some of Tomoro's E-Pulse. And again, it does seem that biting thing, that frosting over, is a way of gathering energy from their partner, or any human. But actually, the first proper Digivolution sequence we see in this trailer instead is Pristimon, with the egg being thrown up in the air and seemingly Pristimon eating the Sapotama, consuming the Digi-Egg, Gaston ass, and beginning the evolution sequence, but of course we don't see it. That would be giving things away too soon. Then we get some audio saying it's not in the database, it's a new Digimon, its data's locked. And this seems to be talking about a shadowed Gokumon, who when they try to analyze it is access denied, all of its attributes are locked, but of course we as an audience know what Gokumon is. So I think this is setting up this idea of almost like having to scan or get to know a Digimon to get its data, or maybe it's an even more key story related thing that Gokumon can't be scanned, and probably other Digimon will also be the same. I think it's interesting they chose Gokumon here, given that we do have the new Shambhala Vpets coming out with a bunch of new Digimon, including Gokumon's new rookie Digimon, which is a monkey with headphones. It would fit in so well with Beatbreak, but I'm not optimistic it's going to show up in this season. Tomoro says he doesn't trust Sapotamas or AI. Love that for you, King. Another quick shot of him banging a drumstick on a railing, and then some family shots, his brother and his mother and father. For some reason I get a weird vibe that the mother and father are dead and it's just his brother left, but that is purely vibes alone from this trailer and is likely not the case. However, I do like that we're going to get some family life for the protagonist, at least in this season again. I think it's something that was sorely missing from Adventure 2020 and Ghost Game. Well, obviously Hero had his relationship, quote unquote, with his father, father, and Adventure 2020 did have the parents. They were in a much reduced capacity in comparison to things like Digimon Adventure, Zero 2, and of course Tamers. I really love seeing that counterbalance between the exciting Digimon adventure and perhaps mundanity or safety of home, and how sometimes an adventure with Digimon can fundamentally change a person's relationship with their home life and family and friends. So this is a really good sign for me. And they say, believe in your beat. We see that glitch the future text again, and the trailer ends on one last amazing shot of Gekomon and Tomoro. It looks, oh man, it looks so good. Now, interestingly, in the Japanese version of the trailer, they do specify October 5th, 2025. However, in the English version of the trailer, it just says October. We do have confirmation actually that Hulu will be airing Digimon Beatbreak with English subtitles in the US on October 5th, which is great. But other territories haven't been mentioned, and I assume there's going to be nothing for the UK, although I'll be very pleasantly surprised I do see this pop up on Disney Plus over here. So that generic October start date in the English language trailer might be for countries outside of America that do have plans to air Beatbreak, but maybe not on October 5th itself. Also this week we got not only Gekomon, but its baby and in training form added to the Digimon reference book, and this is really a Marmite situation with the fandom right now, because the baby is called Kekomon, the in training is called Kekomon, and then we've got Gekomon, as well as of course our classic Digimon, Gekomon. These are probably the most visually similar baby in training Digimon to the rookie we've ever got. However, this is carrying on a pretty consistent trend. If we look at the Ghost game in training and babies, they are very similar to the rookies, often looking like the rookies' heads got popped off and then simplified. Some people have said this is like a trend of Digimon getting more and more boring and more Pokemon-like in its evolution, but I just don't think this is the case. While yes, I think these are the set of babies that look the most like the rookie, with only really minor changes, I think that's on purpose because of Gekomon's weird freaky vibe with his big eyes and sticky out tongue. And again, if we look at things like the Dorumon pre-evolutions or even the Tamers pre-evolutions, while maybe not to the same extremity as Gekomon's pre-evolutions, they are still very much that philosophy of take the rookie and make it smaller, and there's nothing stopping Gekomon from digivolving from other in training and babies in future. Especially in Beatbreak, it doesn't seem like we're even going to probably see the baby in the in training, as when he hatches from the Sapotama, they're just light energy, which turns into Gekomon. So I think really this is just bonus designed. It's not really going to change anything and matter all that much. Like, yeah, they'll probably get some cards in the card game, but I think people are a little bit too quick to like go off on these when really it doesn't matter that much. And we do have such a fun breadth of Digimon designs at the moment. There's a world where they just didn't design these guys at all, so I'm fine with them just being similar designs. Plus, again, I do think specifically for Gekomon, it's part of the joke. Kekomon, Kekomon, Gekomon, and then again, that existing Gekomon from years past. I think that repetitive, like, you know, ge no kitaro, I feel like that's all kind of part of the joke here, the sameness, the weirdness, the what's going on. So don't get too worried about Digimon designs just yet. Alright, that is it for my Digimon Expo and Digimon Story Time Stranger Beatbreak Ramp Up Week news video. This is going to be one of the last news videos before all this stuff comes out. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting October. Other than that though, we're about to enter a brave new world where a brand new Digimon video game with a rollout plan for DLC content and a brand new Digimon anime are going to be airing over the next 12 months. Plus, Digimon Elysian is also coming out at some point, and God knows what else. This is one of the best years in Digimon history, and I'm so excited to share it with you, and we haven't even got the products yet. Until next week, this is all just hype culture waiting for it to happen. So thank you to my sovereigns, ZDK14, Chaotic Prophet, and Jeremy Babineau, as well as everyone else who supports me over on patreon.com/Karn EX, and my YouTube channel members here on YouTube. You guys are killing it by clicking that join button down below. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.